the idea of external unity, that idea of unifying that whole external outside world, is the reason behind suffering. Your body is already unified. Your body is fully complete with soul, mirror, form, and a mind that's balanced. Where did this idea arise that something had to be unified? Isn't this whole universe working on its own? Isn't this whole universe just providing everything that you need? Or your materialistic world? You see, that's another idea. Another way of feeling good about yourself. So if there's a doubt about this unification with yourself, why not unify the self? Why not unify your whole self again? Why not follow that Buddha state within you? Because when you are unified, you'll understand these words. You'll understand that the external world that you are is already working intricately, perfectly, to keep itself balanced. You see, when you say itself, are you speaking about another or yourself? That's the whole dilemma. Is God outside of you separate? Is anything outside of you separate? Or is everything fully, wholly one thing inside of you, appearing as separate from your projected mirror-like state? So unify the self. And the world is instantly unified as that what is. How do you do this, you see? How do you find your balanced self without that niggling, nattering mind in every aspect saying, no, look outside, look at the state of the world, look at the state of your body, look at the state of your life, look at the state of your family, look at the state of this idea of not being one whole, beautiful, peaceful world. Well, even in that awakening, enlightening state, you know that this external world will never, ever, ever, ever be unified. That's not your problem. The problem is everything is okay, and you can't accept that. The sages say, ignore everything. What does that mean? It means whatever is taking place is not really taking place. It's not a total denial, because the mind is the one that wants to deny, you see. So the only denial that works is that denial of the mind, of itself. Whatever I see, hear, speak, touch, taste, I'm not this. That's the pure one inquiring. The mind, the ego mind, says, whatever I see, hear, speak, touch, taste, I may be that, but I may not. But I also may not be that, but I may be that. I prefer to be that, but I don't prefer to be that. I have to aim for that. Therefore, I know I want to lose this, you see. We're trying to balance it in that human way. And therefore, you see the external world is imbalanced, because your conditioned state of mind says, I want peace. And then, therefore, you start measuring. You start measuring yourself against the external world. And this measuring It has to be accurate, you see. It's impossible. Because you're measuring good against bad, or right against wrong. And that your understanding, that your mind's understanding, your mind's own conditioning, your mind's own learning, your mind's inheritance from all that past minds. We're not trying to do you any harm, they're just trying to give you some help, advice, as a human. Because they're all looking from this human state. But to be balanced, the human state has to be equally balanced to the spiritual and soulful state. Otherwise the mirror is dirty on one side. So cleanse the mirror. Don't balance anything. Just deny the thoughts. Because images, that what sees, that what tastes, that what touches, that what hears, are all affected by the type of thoughts, the type of flavor that your mind has created, so that it can feed on itself and stay warm and safe and protect your human side and forget about your soul, spirit side. The mind is not trying to create an imbalanced body of all bodies. It's just taking a side. But you've lost your spiritual, soulful mind. Somewhere in the back of the class it's screaming, trying to get through, and you know this. You know this. When you're doing something and your whole spirit and soul is saying, what about me? What about some attention on me? This other me? All your attention's on I. But what about me? And you don't know the difference between me and I, because you now believe you are this human mind. And it's important to be this human mind. But for this inquiry, for this location of the self, stop. To find yourself, to unify yourself, you have to surrender. Surrender to that what is. Surrender to the unknowing, the unknowable. Mind can't locate this unknowing because it says, well, it does not exist. Well, it does exist, but it exists as the unknowing. To find yourself, you have to look into the looking. Look into the looking of yourself. Go into the core, into the deep, into the horror. Forget this brain that is operating on its own. You're not doing it any harm by forgetting it. You're just denying it some sort of space and time for a few moments every day. Forget your heart, because you misinterpret this to be an organ. It's a muscle, you see. What is beyond the muscle? What operates the brain? What operates the muscles? What operates the organs? The life within you. Find the life within you. Your breath, it does not come from outside. That's for your human form body. That operates your human form body. The life that operates the life outside is much within you. Keep looking and leave the looker behind. Don't take the looker with you. The answer is nowhere else other than within you. Are you powerful or are you powerless? You're neither. You find out what is beyond power and powerless. Find out what is beyond this infinite possibilities. I mean, the infinite possibilities is enough if you're enjoying this life. You can use this mind to create much, much more possibilities. But it will take you to more possibilities and more possibilities. And possibilities are temporary. They're not truth. To find the truth, find your core being, you have to look at the mirror that is within you. You have to locate that mirror, find it, polish it, clean it. It's deep within your being, within your core. The mirror is reality. The mirror that you are is your own reality. And from it, it reflects and deflects both ways. A balanced external world and a balanced internal, spiritual, soulful world. But you're neither. But you are, you see. Because there's consciousness that creates you. There's consciousness that creates the idea that you are here. Wow. What a great projector. What a great light. What a great director, if you want to call it that. But it's only showing reflections of what it knows about you. You can try and improve and create and do wonderful things in the outside world. And consciousness is projecting that as a purpose, maybe, or as your way. And that's fine. There's no denying this beautiful human life. There's no denying this spiritual, soulful life that goes on simultaneously. But only if you want to find out this that we call God, that we call Spirit, Holy, that we call Buddha, that we call Absolute. These are only names. It exists as what it is. It exists everywhere and nowhere. So what to do now? Surrender to it. Surrender to that does not exist in your mind. Surrender all thoughts of past and present and fall into the void. Go willingly. But is there anywhere, is there anyone that can stop this going? Because there's not a goer going willingly. Only the going takes place. Only that emotional being that has no form dissolves into this peace. The external body, it still breathes. It still operates. There's nothing happening. It may appear as if there's something happening within, but the external world does not exist. Just an illusion, just a dream. So move out of the dream for 5 minutes every day. Any experience that takes place within those 5 minutes are simply fluctuations from mind, simply movements, trying to catch your attention again. But you say, no, thank you, mind. This may appear to be wonderful. This may appear to be a very Kundalini, Nirvana state, but I want to go beyond this. I don't want to stop. This I does not want to stop. This I is provided and provided and provided. And now this I is removing and removing and removing. Surrendering, surrendering, surrendering. Forget the words. Forget the emotions. Forget the experiences. Go beyond. Only looking is taking place. Can you locate where the looking is? Not the looker, not the thing looked at. But what is this looking, this seeing? Stay with the looking and the seeing. See what it takes, whatever you are. as the looking in the looking. Let yourself fall into yourself. The answer is nowhere else other than within yourself, into your core. The idea of external unity has gone. There's no need to unify the external world in this place. There is no suffering in this place. And once this self has been unified, once you've met yourself, once the door is opened, and the shock takes place, and this all-pervading stillness and silence that precedes, everything in the external world is as it is already perfect. No more looking at that places where all these violence and disharmony and dualistic world anymore. You're non-dual. You've never been anything but that. But you have a mind that looks dualistically, looks for opposing states, looks for fun, comparisons, looks to compete, looks to have preferences. It looks for more things it wants and desires. It loves to attach to these things that it wants and desires. And it loves to try and detach to the things that it does not want and desire. Therefore, an imbalancement, because everything is here for a purpose. Everything is here for a reason. Because without everything in its wholeness, you experience suffering and imbalancement. So unify yourself. Unify your whole self by being and realizing your own self. Meet yourself. Surrender. Go inside. Fall into that deep, profound, beautiful looking and stay as this seeing. And let the seeing disappear. And the world is instantly unified as that what it is. Namaste Om. Shine on mirror. As Neem Karali Baba says, cleanse the mirror of your heart, your inner being, yourself, and you will see God.